Hey everyone, this is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. Happy Monday, everybody. Today we are going to talk about Mars in Leo making a square to Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. This is coming through a powerful T-square between Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars that we've been looking at over the course of the last week. We're continuing that today as the last part of the sequence comes through and Mars makes the square to Jupiter. So that is our agenda. We're going to look at this from the perspective of 5 things that I love about Mars-Jupiter combinations on an archetypal level, 5 things I could live without, or that I secretly hate. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. All right, so anyway, before we get into it, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, share your comments in the comment section, click the notification bell for updates you want to know when I'm going live. You can find a transcript of today's talk on the website, nightlightastrology.com. If you have a story to share, especially with some of the recent astrological configurations that have been coming through, use the hashtag grabbed, name the transit, and then tell us your story. If you prefer, you can email the story to us, grabbed@nightlightastrology.com. One of the ancient names for the planets were the grahas, or the grabbers. It has a double meaning: to grab, meaning to be seized by the planets as they act through us unconsciously, or to also grasp and perceive the ways in which these energies and archetypes are at work in our lives, which is the whole point of the series. To move from being grabbed to grasping and understanding. So if you have a moment where you got grabbed, but you also learned something and you want to share with us your story, use that hashtag or email us at grabbed@nightlightastrology.com. Okay, anyway, we are also in promotion mode for my new program, Ancient Astrology for the Modern Mystic, which begins on June 11th. It is coming up very soon now. I'm really excited to be seeing more enrollments coming through. You can go to the website, click on the first year course under courses, and you can learn more about it. Again, it starts on June 11th. You can hear what some of the alumni have had to say on it. 30 classes on the year. They're all 2 to 3 hours each. They are held via live webinars. These will be held on Sundays, starting at noon Eastern time, and they go for about a year. You don't have to be there live. If you can't make it live, you can always attend. You can participate by downloading the videos or watching them on the class website at your own pace. We also have an interactive group forum discussion that's staffed by tutors that are there to answer your questions. They always respond within a business day. And we also have breakout study sessions led by our staff. So there's just a lot of support built into the program in terms of helping people develop their understanding of ancient Hellenistic astrology. Because it's ancient Hellenistic astrology, but we teach that the program is led with a kind of modern archetypal and psychological twist. So it's ancient Hellenistic astrology, which means that it's highly predictive. It's sort of like karmic analytics. And we're developing the ability to look at a chart and sort of predict what's going to happen in what different areas of life at what times thematically. And then we also want to be able to address the core inner experience psychologically. So this program is designed to do both and to teach people how to read birth charts. For if you want to start a business, obviously there's a lot of people who come through the program for that reason and end up launching their own professional practice. We also have a lot of people who just take the course because this is their hobby and you want to go deeper, and having this knowledge for yourself is tremendously beneficial. You are downloading something like a GPS program spiritually into your life that will forever be of assistance to you. For me, for those of you who like astrology and consume it as a regular form of entertainment or spiritual nutrition, knowing more about astrology will serve you in your astrological journey. So anyway, at the bottom of the page, you can find out more about enrollment. There's an early bird payment, saves you $500 off. You can spread the payment over 12 monthly installments, or we also have need-based tuition, and that is for people who need a little bit of help to make the program happen. We understand that everyone's in a completely different position when it comes to their finances. We don't want anyone to be priced out of an astrological education, because we believe that because this is of great spiritual value, that it shouldn't be limited to people who only fit one kind of income bracket. So because of that, we have tuition assistance. Check that out if you are hurting or just in need of a little bit of help to make it happen, but you really want to study. For us, the thing that matters is that you have a sincere desire to study, and we'll be glad to work with you and help you find a price point that is doable given your budget, just as long as, and we trust people to not take advantage of that. If people can afford the program, we expect that you pay for it if you can afford it. If you need a little bit of help, we're glad to work with you. So at any rate, if you have any questions whatsoever about the program, email us info@nightlightastrology.com. Okay, so let's take a look at the real-time clock, and let us now turn our attention to Mars's square to Jupiter. So here you will find Here's Mars in Leo at the 27th degree. This is about 11:40 p.m. Central Time, Monday, May 22nd, that the square is perfecting. You're going to be feeling this, though, over this past weekend and through about the middle of this week, even to the end of this week, because we give about a 3-degree range of separation within which you will still likely be noticing the effects. So if we go out about 3 degrees, we get to, by about the end of the week, even by like Sunday, they're still within 3 degrees. So that's a broad way of looking at it. Now, important to note here that we are not talking just about Mars going through a square with Jupiter, which on its own would be a big transit. We're also looking at the fact that this just recently happened. So this is a sequence of events. Mars entered Leo and opposed Pluto, and Jupiter entered Taurus and recently squared Pluto. So we have effectively a very tight T-square. It's not all happening exactly simultaneously, but close enough within the span of a week that all of these 3 planets are connecting with one another. And so we've been breaking that down from a variety of different angles. Today, we're going to continue doing that by looking at the combination of Mars and Jupiter and what those 2 planets do when they get together. And I'm going to talk about it in terms of 5. Here's, first of all, again, to repeat, the Mars in Leo square Jupiter and Taurus is May 22nd. That's today. And we're going to talk about it from the perspective of 5 things I love and 5 things I could live without. And hopefully this will give you guys a sense of what to watch for, what to notice in your own experiences, as well as how to deal with it. Because, planets, when they get together in the sky, they meet us and they express themselves within the context of whatever's going on. So if you're in the midst of turbulence at work, this combination is going to show up in terms of the turbulence at work. It's kind of like, where's the drama at? Well, that's where the planets tend to appear and manifest. And sometimes they appear in ways that are unexpected and they cultivate new drama that we weren't anticipating. But a lot of the times, if you want to know where they will appear, you could look at your chart and look at the houses and the topics and stuff like that. But even more fundamental to just mundane transits that we're looking at on this channel all the time is like, where's the drama in your life? That's where they're going to show up most of the time. Where's the action at? That's where you'll see them. So remember that, and then apply these archetypal principles or combinations. The lessons that come with them are many, and we could talk about that, endlessly. We could literally write a book about just Mars and Jupiter. But at any rate, 5 things I love to start with. The number one thing I love about Mars-Jupiter combinations is the I've got this mentality that comes with it. By that, it means I'm capable, I can do this, no one's going to stop me, I've got this, I can do it. Where there's that sense of can-do optimism, where there is a sense that I'm not limited here, I'm not afraid, I'm gonna get after this and I'm gonna do it. And it could be something like having a difficult conversation, asking for a raise, asking someone out, who knows what it is. But it usually is this feeling of like, I'm going for it. And the confidence and both the confidence to do something that's a little risky, Mars, and the feeling that it will work. Another way of putting it, literally, you could use the phrase, if you build it, they will come, like from Field of Dreams. If I kind of put my flag in the ground, good things are going to happen here. Maybe that's not a great image. That's problematic. But you get what I'm saying. If you kind of say, okay, I'm like just got done cleaning the garage, spring cleaning. And I was just like, okay, garage, you're mine, And I just thought it was interesting that was happening as the 2 planets are starting to come into their configuration with one another. So I've got this. I can do this. I will do it. Nothing will stop me. Now, we're going to talk about some shadows that might come with this, obviously, but there's this sense of being, I'm unstoppable right now. That's one of my favorite things about Mars-Jupiter. You just get stuff done. It's amazing. Number 2, strength and success. Now, this is more, especially because we're talking about Mars and Jupiter in fixed signs right now, that there is a sense of a cumulative effect in fixed signs, things that have deep roots, that repeat, that have history, that have staying power. And there's something about, first of all, Mars, Jupiter plainly is associated with success and with strength. But this kind of strength and success in fixed signs can also be an indication that something you have been working on for a long time is now getting established, like a garden that's starting to get strong and healthy after going through the early and more delicate, vulnerable phase of its youth. Now all the plants are vibrant and healthy. And we've been planting out the community herbal medicine garden. We just had our first event. And so, I've got plant metaphors on the brain, or analogies or whatever. So anyway, strength and success. There is a time and place, a season in life for just kicking ass and taking names. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain times where you're like, I'm on fire right now. Gonna stop me, So Mars and Jupiter is one of my favorite things about it, is that it is just a time and a season to feel strong and to have like little feathers in your cap that come along with Mars and Jupiter. And oftentimes, I guess, again, in fixed signs, there's a sense of something that has accumulated over time, and the cumulative effects have led to a proliferation, an abundance, and a richness. So think about that right now too. Number 3, leadership, courage, and assertiveness. Now, if you are in a group, you're a family, you have a gaggle of roommates or something, someone needs to be the lead honker. So what am I talking about? So leadership, courage, and assertiveness with Mars and Jupiter is a real phenomenon where you need to step up and lead something. You will, if this energy is around and you're in, or someone will step up, or the need for someone to be courageous, to demonstrate leadership qualities, to set the example, to set the bar high, to be assertive about what the right best move is in a situation, for someone to model what it means to be smart and effective and virtuous. It's kind of knightly. It's like Mars Jupiter's kind of like the gallantry of a knight. It's like gallant and bold and sort of, it does the right thing, So you get that feeling from Mars Jupiter, and it feels like, in this moment someone needs to step up, and by golly, it's going to be me. Or it could be that someone around you is demonstrating those qualities, and you find them to be contagious, easy to follow, trustworthy. It's a good time for these qualities to be present in your life or within yourself, and to do good things. So number 4 is powerful helpers and allies. See, Mars likes to be victorious. Jupiter likes good fortune, and Jupiter is also rejoices in the 11th house, which was called the house of good spirit, and the house that was associated with allies. And so Mars, Jupiter, when you put them together, are powerful, strong, effective, bold, courageous allies, benefactors, beneficial people. So powerful helpers and allies is one of the greatest Jupiter-Mars benefits. Someone comes along and just says, you need a bulldozer? I've got one. Why you need a bulldozer? Oh, it's like problematic today. All the images that are coming to my head. It's already Mars Jupiter. I'm like thinking about bulldozers and planting flags and garages and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, look for people who come along and have powerful forms of support to offer you, encouragement, strength, and this can come in the form of teachers, coaches. Mars Jupiter people can be like an athletic coach. It can also be a sign or a marker of tremendous athletic achievement, or Mars like power and achievement. The same thing can be said though about Mars Jupiter when it comes to like powerful displays of military might and violence and strength, and all in like toxic ways, right? So we'll get to that later. Number 5 would be effort and determination bring good fortune. If I keep going, something really good is going to happen. If I just work my ass off, something really good is going to happen. That's a Mars Jupiter phenomenon, and it is real. Don't push yourself too far. Don't break a toe, I don't know where any of this is coming from today. All right, number 1, in terms of things I could live without, things I secretly hate: machismo, bravado, and arrogance. Look, the downside is that while it can be really fun to there's this car show near where I live in the summers, and there's all of these like amazingly cool old school muscle cars, and they're just fun to look at, right? there's sometimes they come equipped and manned with little assholes driving them. so so the machismo, the bravado, the arrogance of Mars and Jupiter is a real thing. For as showy and powerful as it can also be just sort of cocky and annoying. Number 2 is going to be the domineering qualities. Really can't stand that Mars Jupiter is like, not just I've got this, I can do this, but like I'm gonna mount the world. Like what was the phrase from Game of Thrones? The stallion who mounts the world, or something like that. So it's like that. It's like Mars Jupiter is like, you know, it has the attitude of like, I'm God's gift to man, and I need to like sit on the head of every single situation. Like it's just so annoying how like dominant and needing to assert dominance that Mars Jupiter can be. Number 3 is the inability to perceive subtleties. Mars Jupiter is like, I don't know, getting He-Man to try Tai Chi for the first time or something. It's like it's not so easy for that sort of over the top machismo and bravado to perceive emotional subtleties, nuances, tone of voice, things that are implied and more subtle and sensitive. It can just steamroll those kinds of things, and you lose a lot when you steamroll those things because they fill everything. It's like the world is flowering all the time with subtleties. And Mars Jupiter, for as many good things as it can do, is not typically good at perceiving and relating to those subtleties. And when you lose that, you lose the fragrance of life in some ways. So be as effective as you want to. If you lose subtleties, you're losing a lot. Number 4 is ruthless determination. So the ruthless determination of Mars Jupiter is basically, I will do anything to win. I will do anything to get done with this thing. Like it's kind of like I joke with my wife sometimes. I'm like, because the kids have shit everywhere. I'm just going to say it bluntly. There is just, you go down to their toy room, it's just like a total disaster zone. And then, it gets cleaned up, but then the next day it's like a total disaster. And everyone knows who have kids, and you know what this is like. And I have this fantasy sometimes, I'm completely covered in like primitive blood or paint or something, like from like an animal sacrifice. I'm dancing around a massive bonfire that's just burning all of the crap, the little clips and things, the little toys, and all just pieces of things everywhere. And I'm just watching it burn, and I'm just screaming and dancing around this big fire. Anyway, the point is that when I get to cleaning that space in the house, like if the dog comes down and looks at me, I'm like, I will kill you. You leave this room. If the girls come down, I'm like, I will break every toy unless you leave. Because I get so pissed. I am not really that mean, but I get so upset. Because I'm like, when will the things stop thinking? They just won't stop. They don't stop. And I get like this ruthless determination. Like I feel like I become like the Terminator of cleaning the kids' room, or any room that has like the kid clutter all over it. So, and then it's just like and then you reach a point where you're like, this is a renewable stressor. This will never end. and I'm like a dog chasing its tail, thinking that I'm ever going to get to the bottom of this endless heap of things. So that ruthless determination, long story short, that ruthless determination is like, you'll just steamroll anything when you're in a Mars Jupiter mode. And I remember as a kid when my dad would get into those spaces with cleaning and stuff like that, chores or things he would get into, and just be like, just like have that look in his eye, and I'd be like, oh shit, like I'm not going around him right now. So anyway, the 5th one is righteousness. Mars Jupiter is like, honestly, sometimes it's associated with like terrorism, religious fanaticism, where you will be violent on behalf of something that you believe in with such conviction that you're a zealot, So the righteousness, the fervor, the zeal of Mars Jupiter can be very intense. And that's the one thing to watch out for. Watch out for it within ourselves. I know we all like to think like, well, I'm a very moderate, broad-minded person. It's like, really? Like, I mean, I like to think that I'm like that most of the time too, but there are times where and I think all of us, probably most of us, fall into spaces where we get really black and white in our thinking, and we get really extreme, we get really impatient, we get irritable, and it's us versus them. And this could be for half an hour, with people you love, and it's over something as stupid as how the room should be picked up or whatever. So be careful of the righteousness, because it can take over and it can hijack your serenity. So anyway, good things to think about. I hope that you have had some laughs and some insights along the way. I would love to hear your comments. So before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and tell us what you think and what you have to say about these transits. It means a lot to hear from you guys as well. I look forward to more this week, and yeah, have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.